Several media personalities discussed key issues of 2020 in an SKN Newsline special called 2020 in Retrospect, posted early in January. Alicia Daniel Blake from Sugar City FM, Jermaine Abel of SKN Vibes, and Glenn Batt from SKN Newsline joined host Andrea Huey on 2020 in Retrospect to examine challenges and achievements that impacted the lives of citizens and residents during the year. As expected, the COVID-19 pandemic dominated the program, as well as general elections held in St. Kitts and Nevis and other countries of the Caribbean community.
Some of those persons who would have become unemployed, for example, those in the tourism industry, would have had to find creative ways to make a living, because even though there would have been the stimulus package in terms of government and in terms of social security, in the meantime, persons would have had to make a living. And so we found a lot of creativity in terms of new businesses.
Even though the vaccine is here, we still don't have a single way in which we're dealing with the virus. And that problem is being reflected in the way the cases are popping up in the individual territories.
There's one other thing that we should mention that really impacted 2020 within the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that was the issue. That, of course, we know was losing money for many years, and I think COVID-19 was just the tipping scale that threw it to the dustbin. But it also brought into focus with all the arguments that were going back and forth between Barbados and Antigua and one of the other shareholders, how important it is to have a regional air carrier to serve as impetus for this, what we perceive to be an integration movement that is so important to us.
Really liked the way technology seemed to come to the forefront once again in terms of campaigning. To me, in a sense, that reduced some of the nastiness that is known in Caribbean politics in general, because they more had to follow a format abiding by the COVID-19 protocols. It mostly took place online. And then when there were motorcades, it would be, they're in their own vehicles, etc. So less of the nastiness of the politics that we normally see to place.
We need to have addressed this issue of how long petitions take to be resolved. I think we need to look at the system. We need to revamp it so that if there's any challenge, it can be quickly addressed, be resolved, and we don't have this weeks and months of wrangling in courts and that kind of thing. And in addition to that, we still have the situation where counting of ballots on the election night is taking way too long. For a small island like St. Kitts and Nevis, I can't see why the results of a constituency will take almost half a day to be completed.
While I agree that we can do electronic voting, there are countries that are right here in the region, bigger than us, bigger population, bigger voting population, that don't have electronic voting. And by 10 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time, when they're electioned, by then, who wins the election? Even if it's an exit poll, by that time, okay, you may not have finished counting, but you have an idea of which of the parties would have won the elections, and they don't have electronic voting. So I think that we just need to make the necessary adjustments. I remember speaking to the supervisor of elections, and he did point out that there are certain things that would probably need to be adjusted legally to make it possible for the count to go a lot faster.
The full discussion can be viewed online on YouTube, Facebook, and on sknnewsline.com. Glenn Batt, SKN Newsline.